In different parts of our planet, there are stone formations that official science explains as the result of long geological processes. Yet their appearance is so unusual that it continually gives rise to alternative interpretations. They are located thousands of kilometers apart, formed from different types of rock, and in different geological eras. And still, in a strange way, they provoke similar questions about Earth's past and about events whose scale is difficult even to imagine. In the remote expanses of South Australia, unusual rounded monoliths rise from the landscape. Murphy's haystacks. Official geology offers a straightforward explanation. Ancient granite formed deep underground, and then millions of years of erosion, water, and temperature fluctuations gradually stripped away the excess, leaving behind smooth boulders. This process is known as spheroidal weathering. The rock peels away in layers, becoming more and more rounded over time. But when you stand before these forms, there is an instinctive resistance to such a simple explanation. In places, the surfaces look as if they were exposed to intense heat. Some lines resemble partial melting. Certain massive blocks stand as though everything around them had been deliberately removed. And this is where alternative assumptions begin to appear. One of the most radical versions is the hypothesis of a high-temperature catastrophe in the distant past. Supporters of this idea draw parallels with trinitite, the glass formed after a nuclear explosion, when sand and rock melt under extreme temperatures. They suggest that in deep antiquity, Earth may have experienced a massive explosion, or even a series of explosions, that partially melted the surface of certain regions. In this logic, the rounded and smoothed shapes are not only the result of erosion, but also the consequence of an immense thermal impulse. Some researchers go even further and speak of a possible prehistoric nuclear war between unknown civilizations. They point to ancient texts describing weapons bright as 1,000 suns, as well as isolated geological anomalies in different parts of the world. In this scenario, such stone formations could have been altered or partially transformed by extreme heat, while thousands of years of erosion erased most of the obvious traces. If we shift to Eastern Europe, similar questions arise regarding the stone forest in Bulgaria, located near Varna, Pobiti Kameni. This is a unique cluster of vertical limestone columns up to 7 to 10 meters high, scattered across a vast sandy plain. The columns have a cylindrical shape, many of them hollow inside, and their walls sometimes appear remarkably straight and well-defined, creating the impression of artificial origin. The official geological explanation states that these columns formed around 50 million years ago, when the territory of modern Bulgaria was the floor of an ancient sea. It is believed that around gas seeps on the seabed, sand was cemented by calcium carbonates, forming solid pillars. After the sea retreated and surrounding rocks eroded away, the softer material was washed out, leaving the harder structures exposed on the surface. However, a number of features raise doubts about whether this interpretation is entirely sufficient. Some columns stand almost in isolation. Others form groups or lines that appear organized. In certain cases, similarities in diameter and proportion can be observed, at first glance, resembling structural elements of a constructed complex. The hollow interiors of many columns also seem unusual. The inner space is filled with sand, as if these were remnants of pipes or technological channels. Alternative hypotheses suggest that these structures could be fragments of a very ancient megalithic complex. Supporters of this view believe the columns may once have been part of a large structure destroyed by catastrophe, with natural processes later intensifying its fragmentation. Sometimes, the idea of an advanced ancient civilization is proposed, one whose traces partially survive today in stone formations that are now interpreted as natural. There is also speculation that in the deep past, Earth experienced high-energy events, including massive explosions or even a hypothetical nuclear war between prehistoric civilizations. According to this perspective, extreme temperatures could have caused partial melting and recrystallization of sedimentary rocks, while subsequent erosion shaped them into their present form. An even more area example is the Riche structure in Mauritania, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. This is a gigantic concentric formation about 40 to 50 kilometers in diameter, clearly visible even from space. The rings seem nested within one another, forming an almost perfect target in the middle of the desert. Officially, it is explained as the result of a geological dome uplift, followed by erosion of rock layers that gradually exposed the concentric structure. Yet the symmetry, the near geometric precision, and the immense scale of the object have given rise to another striking theory: that the Richat structure could be the remains of the legendary Atlantis. Supporters of this version refer to Plato's description of a city with concentric rings of land and water. In their view, the similarity in form is too precise to be accidental. They suggest that in the distant past, the region may have had a different climate and access to water, and that after a global catastrophe, whether a shift of Earth's crust, the impact of a massive cosmic body, or even a high-energy war, the territory turned into desert. And once again, as in the previous cases, Richat is sometimes considered a possible trace of an extraordinarily powerful explosion that created concentric zones of destruction, later masked by erosion. In such a scenario, the circular patterns are explained as waves of energy radiating from an epicenter. Although official science does not support these hypotheses, the site continues to provoke debate. These three locations differ in composition and form, yet they share one common feature. They look as if they preserve the memory of events beyond ordinary erosion. Perhaps they are fragments of a deeper chapter in Earth's history, one that included catastrophes, climate shifts, and processes of immense energy. For now, there are no definitive answers, and so these sites remain open both to scientific research and to bold hypotheses. That is all for today. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Who created these formations, nature or unknown civilizations? Please support us with a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again soon on our channel.